Hi, I'm Gary White for Channel 6, Central Kentucky Television. And today I have with me Yvonne McNary as my co-host. And today we're going to be talking with Mary Kay Savarese, who is an author who has experience with tigers. So we're going to get to hear all about that because right now there are a lot of people who are watching the Netflix documentary Tiger King. And we wanted to hear from somebody who actually has experience with tigers to see if there's some truth to some of the things we're seeing there or not. So Mary Kay, thank you very much for joining us.
Hello, Gary. Hello, Yvonne. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Thank you. Now
Nice
you're joining us from Florida, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, we're doing this via Zoom, so we're all social distancing.
Yes.
With the whole pandemic going on. Crazy, but you are a new author about a book, right? Can you tell us a little about your book?
Yes, my book is a cozy mystery romance with a spiritual twist that was inspired. The title was inspired by a visit to a St. Augustine, Florida big cat reserve, where I witnessed a tiger go into a bubble bath with Obsession perfume as its cocktail. So that was it was awe-inspiring, Yvonne, at Gary. And I said to myself, that is the title for my book, my next manuscript. And I then wrote the story around the title.
That's fantastic. So tell us.
No, what motivated you to go to the reserve?
A dear friend of mine invited me to go to the Big Cat Reserve, and I am a cat lover. And what's better than just a little cat, the big cats? And as I said, it was by special invitation only. This sanctuary that is for unwanted exotic animals that have literally come from TV shows, circuses, pets. People actually bring in a tiger as a pet. And when they realize they're in the garage because the cat is tearing apart the house, they will call this sanctuary in St. Augustine. And
now, approximately how many animals did they have?
They had about 70 exotic animals. And what they mean by exotic, it was the big cats. They had panthers and lions, tigers, oh my, yeah. And they had a bear, and they had a couple of other exotic animals, but mainly the unwanted tigers and jaguars and cougars. So,
oh, wow.
Oh, cats, wow.
So you are a cat lover.
Cat lover, yes.
Do you have a cat of your own?
I do.
Okay, what's your cat's name?
Fermi.
Fermi. Okay.
Cat's name.
Very good. But your cat is a little different than the ones that you experienced at the reserve, correct?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
Exactly. So, but speaking of that, a lot of people think, oh, cats, they seem cute and cuddly, and they're beautiful animals.
Yes.
But they are also dangerous animals, potentially. Is that correct?
Well, they could be. Most of them are very kind and loving and warm. For me, the cat, we're talking about regular cats. We're not talking about
No, we're talking about the big cats.
Oh, the big cats. Oh, excuse me. I thought we were talking about the little cats. Oh, no. Big cats. One of the things the professional handlers stressed while I was there, never turn your back. And they're professionals. They will never turn their backs on these big cats.
Mm-hmm.
But, and one of the privileges of being able to go into this reserve, and the owner is Deborah Warwick, and it is her mission to take care of these animals and to make sure to teach people. It's also an education center to teach people about how not to abuse these beautiful creatures. So basically, yeah, they were behind their cages, but we were able to get close enough to see them. And some of the funniest things, I guess at that time of day, well, as they're taking you through this reserve, they are feeding these beautiful big cats. And the funniest thing, before I even get to the tiger part, is the lion. The lion was tossed a frozen lollipop of a turkey. So if you have ever seen a lion go at this as if it was literally licking a lollipop, it was the funniest thing.
That's precious.
But
That's
that
really
turkey
cool.
didn't think it was too funny.
Yeah.
So in the Tiger King documentary, that has
Yes.
to do with a reserve as well, correct?
They're more, I believe, more like a roadside zoo.
Okay.
And the sanctuary that I visited, and I was so inspired to write my cozy mystery, is not a zoo. It's a rescue center, a sanctuary. So
Okay.
a little bit different. Yes.
You mentioned the feeding of the lions.
Yeah.
I would imagine that with that many animals, it could become very expensive to take care of them in this reserve.
Exactly, which is, yes. So I truly believe if you can locate a reserve in your state, give them some assistance. The way the reserve at St. Augustine raises money is to allow people to come in 2 to 3 times a week.
Okay.
And they raise money that way and through donations. Yes.
That's great. So this became the setting for your novel.
Yes. Yes.
Right. Now, this is your first book that you've had published, but it's not your first
Yes.
book that you've written. Is that
It's
accurate?
not my first manuscript, no, but it was the first manuscript that was published. Yes.
Well, congratulations. That's
Thank
great.
you very much.
And we'll let our audience in just a little bit know how they can get a copy of your book.
Absolutely.
But the book, as we said, is called Tigers Love Bubble Baths and Obsession.
Perfume. Who knew?
Exactly. Who knew that?
That's the title of the book.
And who knew? So how did they know? How did that go about?
How'd you figure all this out?
Yes.
Okay. The last exhibit, as I was told, they save this till the very end and they take you around in a Jeep. And the last stop was the tiger's cage. Now, there were about a dozen of us that arrived there. And I have no idea what is going to transpire. And I am looking at a 4-foot tall by 16-foot wide galvanized tank overflowing with bubbles. This, at that point, it's like, okay, who is this for? What is it for? And they tell us, just hold on. And within a couple of minutes, they open the door, the secret door, and out comes this awe-inspiring, incredible creature, a 600-pound Siberian tiger.
Wow.
It walks across the ramp, and right on cue, the handler's there behind in another cage, but close enough. It's as if the tiger was going to take off its swimming robe, jumps into the bubbles, and is swimming around, lapping up the bubbles, and looks like, oh, just hand me a little cocktail. I am ready to party. And I stood there literally like this with my mouth open the whole time. And I said to myself, this is unbelievable. And I said, that is the title of my next manuscript, hopefully published book, Tigers Love Bubble Baths in Obsession Perfume, who knew? And that's how that title was born. And then I wrote the mystery around that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it is a cozy mystery. So tell
Yes.
us, what does that mean?
Cozy mystery basically means that it is not filled with overt violence and sexuality in the sense of all these like vivid descriptions. So it's more to the general audience.
Okay. And it's a mystery, so that'll be a lot of
Yes.
fun. So
Yes. There's one death after another. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tell us a little bit more.
And it's also a romance. And basically, my mission in writing this story around tigers, love bubble baths, and obsession perfume was to basically take the story of a middle-aged woman tossed aside in life who decides through serendipity to start over. And with wishes and a divine hand of intervention, there's a lot of intrigue, and there's a lot of starting over and keeping you on the edge of your seat.
Wow.
Wonderful. And it also has a spiritual twist, I hear.
Yes,
right?
the spiritual twist is the divine hand of intervention that comes over her, and the other characters in the book, the whole town, the whole community.
Okay. Is it set in Florida, in your location?
No, it is actually set in northern Maine.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, very good. From
Yeah.
one end of the
Yes.
East Coast to the next.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Now, how can people get a copy of your book?
My book is everywhere. It's on Amazon, Walmart.com. I'm on the largest Christian books online website, Target online, any Barnes and Noble, any independent bookstore. And I would love very much for people to visit my website, and I would love to meet them through that. And that's www.mary ksavarese.com, SAVARESC. Thank you so much for letting me pitch that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
We
people
love
need to-
mysteries.
Yes, I love a good mystery.
Yes.
And tigers. I like tigers too.
Oh, and I need to tell you more about the tiger. With the as the tiger is just moving around, shuffling around the bubbles, the cocktail is very interesting. The
Mhm.
cocktail is simply obsession perfume. I happen to have one right here. This
Okay.
is just a little bottle. But the reason tigers, it is very well known that tigers love the pheromones in obsession perfume. So
Oh.
it literally calms them down. So if you might see in the wild, they will spray rocks with obsession perfume, and the tigers will literally go up to these rocks and cuddle and lick them because they are just attracted to the pheromones in the obsession perfume.
Really?
Oh.
Yes.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
Tigers are fascinating creatures. They really, really are.
Now, how big? You said this was like a 600-pound.
This was a 600-pound Siberian tiger. And in researching the tigers for the story in my book, I've learned that tigers, under their chin, all their stripes are their signature. Every tiger has a different arrangement of stripes under their chin. And they have a sound they make, like a chuffing sound, where their mouth is closed, but they make a sound through their nose. And that's how they greet each other. And that's how the tiger that I saw jump into the bubble bath greeted its handler. The handler was, you would think it was the tiger's best friend, but with spraying the obsession perfume, this tiger lapped it up like crazy and licked, actually through the gate that was up, licked the handler's face. So it was truly an incredible experience for me. As you can tell, I wrote a book.
Exactly. Now, in your mystery, does the
Yes.
tiger factor into solving this mystery?
Oh, you sound just like my publisher. My publisher. Now, as I said, I love quirky. This is a very quirky title. I'm an author that loves quirky titles. And I write the story around my title. So I was determined to keep this title at all costs. So my publisher had said to me, Mary, please tell me that there's an actual tiger in your story. And I said, yes, there is a tiger in Bubble Baths with Obsession Perfume, and it is the climax of the story. And it is involved with one of the main characters. So yes.
Great. Very
Yes.
good. Well, it sounds fascinating.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Murder and mayhem.
Murder and mayhem, and you will find that, yes, in my tigers.
Exactly. So if you've been watching the documentary on Tiger King, you like tigers, if there's something that interests you, then look for Tigers Love Bubble Baths and Obsession Perfume. Who knew? Right?
Thank you. You got it right.
Right? By Mary Kay Savarese.
Yes.
And again, your website for people to give up.
It is www.mary, M-A-R-Y, KSAVARESE.com. But if they Google the book's name, it'll pop up. Amazon, it's ebooks, it's hardcover and softcover. Yeah.
You can find it anywhere. And while we're
Okay.
stuck inside, it's a great time to snuggle up with a nice, cozy mystery.
A cozy mystery. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Thank you very much. We appreciate you being with us today.
Oh, thank you, Gary and Yvonne. It was such a pleasure to meet
Thank
you,
you,
and
Mary.
such a pleasure to speak to both of you, and stay safe and smile and love one another, right? That's the best we can do during these trying times.
That's right.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank
very
you, Mary.
much. Thank you.
you.
Right, this has been Gary White for Channel 6, Central Kentucky Television.